To unpack this a bit more further for us, we're now joined by the Presidential Climate Commission Head of Employment Strategy, Devan Pillay, and he joins us via our video link. Devan, thank you so much for joining us this evening here in SABC News. Maybe let's start off here. I mean, you were in discussion with the University of Mpumalanga and, talking about, these new careers which need to be studied for at that university. Perhaps tell us, why did you take this initiative to the University of Mpumalanga?
Good afternoon, Bali, and good afternoon to your listeners. Thank you very much for this opportunity. We see Mpumalanga as ground zero for the just energy transition. It is one of those provinces that we would experience some of the adverse impacts of the just transition due to the, phasing out of coal, the impact of as we shift away from fossil fuel to renewable energy generation and the gradual closure of coal mines and power stations, and largely linked to the coal value chain. So this essentially implies that we need to look at a broader economic diversification project in Mpumalanga that would allow us to, one, respond to the adverse impact of the just transition. In doing so, we need to clearly identify those economic opportunities that lie ahead that will be able to allow us to, absorb larger numbers of people into employment, especially those that were adversely impacted, as well as those that are currently unemployed in Mpumalanga. So, engaging with the University of Mpumalanga, I think, is the first step towards this building this capacity. It's not just on the energy generation side, it's also all the technologies that's required for the renewable sector as we shift away from fossil fuel. So engaging with the university entails a discussion around building capacity at the university to respond to the labor market within the Mpumalanga geographic spatial areas for the new opportunities that will emerge, particularly around solar, around the chemical sector, around the new opportunities that will emerge through agriculture, etc. So we need a whole new level of skilling taking place in Mpumalanga. And the best place to actually do that is to start with the institutions of higher education in the Mpumalanga province.
And how important is it in this country to begin a process of introducing, new courses, to deal with future challenges that we may have in this country?
Absolutely critical. It's absolutely important that we start to gear ourselves, particularly at skills level, for curricular change, for program change, particularly within modules within programs, so that we're able to respond to the skills needs of the formal economy. We've over a period of time constantly heard from markets the failure for us to produce sufficient skills to meet market demand, and hence, the slow growth in economic activity in particular geographic locations in South Africa. So as we begin to coalesce and have discussions around the changing in curricula, as well as the specific skills that's required, this will help us to respond directly to the issues of unemployment and poverty. It's not just at the university level, it's also at the TVET level. We'll also need to look at this for other training institutions so that we're able to build the broader skills base that's required. This includes trades that are required for the various sectors such as wind and solar. We also need a whole lot of technical skills around hydrogen, and those debates must continue, and those locations for identifying where those skills should be needs to be geared towards institutions closer to the need of these skills. So it's important to do a mapping of the skills required, identify the programs that's required to meet these skills, and identify the institutions that will supply these skills.
Yeah, and how will, these institutions like the University of Mpumalanga be assisted, to make it possible? Because one would say that this is new terrain that they will be going into, and it's never been tested before in this country. So how will they get that necessary assistance?
That's very true. I mean, this is absolutely new terrain. You've got across the various universities in South Africa various skill sets, and identifying where the skills are required is very important in order to build capacity at those localities. I think one of the key things we're trying to do as the PCC is actually build these partnerships with respective academic institutions so that they're able to deliver in terms of the skills required. So it's not just about the research that's come through, but rather develop programs. And critical in the development of these academic programs is to bring in the Department of Higher Education and Training together with its institutions that's responsible for higher education to start working around mobilizing academic programs, aligning curricula, and essential for all of this to happen is mobilizing resources. So part of the JETP, one of the critical things of the JETP is the grants that comes through, and we're hoping to get some of these grants to assist in these sorts of capacitation that's required at the university level.
And what has been, the response or the attitude of the university, when it comes to them now introducing, skills or courses of this nature and programs like these that will assist the country in the future? Are they, willing to come together and actually make it happen? Because, choosing this university, they're placed in a very strategic province, which does supply this country with the necessary electricity they need.
Absolutely. I mean, the university is extremely eager to participate in these sorts of programs, particularly to start embedding the just energy transition throughout its curricula. There's some engagements that are planned for later this month, going into February, to start looking at how best to capacitate the university around all elements of the just transition. So the just transition won't just necessarily be about within a particular faculty, but trying to mainstream it across all programs and schools within the university, so it becomes mainstreamed and forms part of the curricula of all qualifications that will emerge. So this is at its infancy. Its discussions are starting, in around February, and I think it'll gain much traction thereafter. But the appetite is there. There's great eagerness and enthusiasm about this project going forward.
Devan, thank you so much for your time this evening. That is Devan Pillay, the head of employment strategy from the Presidential Climate Commission.